wait with this joy, right? But now there is the anticipation of who? No one knows who the new Pope is, who has just been selected and elected, until we see that man walk out on the balcony with the red curtains behind us here on St. Peter's Square, which we can all see. So now, in these next minutes, as we await that, Christopher, I would imagine the tens of thousands of people who are already here, now these bells are ringing out over Rome. People will come.
Oh, yes.
More and more people will come to perhaps be among the very first to see the Pope. We won't know who it is until we see his face.
He will be introduced to everyone at the same time.
Yes.
And it will be the Cardinal Deacon, the Proto-Deacon, Dominic Lamberti, who will announce it. Of course, if it's not him announcing it, then you could be reflected. But we are expecting Cardinal Lamberti, the Proto-Deacon, to make the announcement Habemus Papam. And he will then give the name of the Cardinal that has been elected Pope and the name that the new Pope has decided to take.
Yes, and that tradition of taking the new name started with the first Pope, of course, St. Peter, a name no one has taken since in his honor, but he was born Simon. And, of course, we are here at St. Peter's Basilica, the very first Pope. Father Edward Beck, Passionist priest, is joining us now. So, Father Beck, here we are, this, we presume, fifth round? Fourth or fifth? It's unclear exactly which round it was of voting. A new Pope on the same day that we found out the last two popes had become a pope. So what does this mean in terms of who the man is who's going to walk out on that balcony within the next half an hour?
So exciting to be here to witness this, and I think it means either of two things. Either it was one of the front runners whom we've been considering with the names, or I do think there are rumors, now these are rumors, Italian rumors, that it's possibly an Italian who has been elected, and that it is not someone we've necessarily been talking about. It could be a surprise. So I'll be very interested to see who walks out on that balcony, and also it'll be interesting to see what they wear. We know that they wear the traditional white cassock of the Pope, but if you'll remember, Pope Benedict, it didn't fit him exactly, so he wore a white alb, but he wore a red velvet mozzetta with ermine. So it was a very regal, very traditional kind of ensemble that he walked out on the balcony with. Pope Francis dispensed with all of that. He came out in simply the white soutane, the white cassock, and he said, Buenos Aires, very informal, and he greeted the people and asked them to pray for him. So the tone of what we see and the dress of what we see, I think, will be very important, but we can be prepared for a surprise of someone we haven't been talking about, I think, but again, it could be one of the front runners. Nobody knows. These are old rumors.
Nobody knows, and we may not know for a long time, if ever. Christopher, looking back at Pope Francis and some books that were written about how it happened for him, it also happened at this time, either this vote or the one, we're not exactly sure whether this was the fourth or fifth round, but you see how you start with a few front runners, you can have 4 or 5, and how the votes move.